Welcome to the show, How to Buy a Homies. Today, I've got another great interview. Now, a lot of people tell me, buying a home is such a big deal. I got to wait till after the wedding, or I got to wait till after we have the kids. I'm not saying everyone has to do it, but there are ways. Like, for instance, today is an interview with Brittany and Fred. Brittany had 5 months of bed rest, and during that time, she figured out how to work buying a home with timing the lease on their apartment, and how to figure out to find the right lender was something that she learned during this period. So here's some great tips from people who bought a home for $435,000 in Dallas, Texas, while they were pregnant. And I was very excited that we talked to Brittany and Fred in this interview, but we mostly realized that this entire home buying process was for their 7-month-old Zora. Let's get into the interview.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time homebuyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the #1 resource for first-time homebuyers.
Homies, it's a Saturday afternoon, and I get to do my favorite thing in the world. I have spent all of about, a minute and a half chatting with Brittany and Fred, but mostly with Zora, who's 7 months old. And I'm so excited to report to everyone that Zora has a new home. She worked really hard on the last lease ever. I'm very proud of her. She's like way top percentile. For those of you who had kids, you know what I'm talking about. Brittany and Fred from Dallas, Texas. How are you?
So good.
We are good. Yes. How are you?
This is fresh, right? You guys have been, did you actually get your keys on the day you closed?
We didn't. How long
did you let them hang around?
Yeah.
It's a week.
Just only a week. Yeah.
Was that something that was negotiated at the beginning of the contract, or was that at the end in like a scramble?
Yeah, no, we knew from up front that they wanted to do a lease-back. So we got some really great guidance from our unicorn actually on how to navigate that, because we did not expect that to happen.
Real estate is about two things: time and money. And if you want the most money and they need a concession on time, if you can give that to them, then you can, on the buying side, negotiate down or say, hey, we'll give it to you, but X, Y, and Z. Or sometimes if there's two offers that are exactly the same and you can offer time, then you don't have to raise your offer to get accepted. So That's awesome. Okay. I prepped you. Hit us with it, because you guys told me you liked the interview episodes too. If you're not watching the video, you're missing the two biggest smiles in the world. So Zora's going to have a wonderful smile. Probably already does, just not a lot of teeth.
Yes, very gummy. Very gummy.
Very gummy. Okay, kick it. Best tip for anyone who's going to eventually be going through the home buying process.
Well, I think the best tip that we received would be the fact that you don't need 20% for a down payment. Yes, that was by far the biggest thing that we learned in this process. As far as like the beginning, we came in, we were like, how are we going to save for this 20% down? But then we were able to get with our unicorn realtor, get with our lender, and they were able to let us know, hey, there are other options that you have as far as that down payment. So yeah, biggest tip.
I'm so glad you said that. I haven't checked the stat in like 3 or 4 months, but it's ridiculous. Like 39% of renters think that 20% down. I've been doing this for 20 years, and 80 to 85% use an FHA loan here in Southern California, 3.5%. And, there are 3%, there are 5%. What did you guys end up doing?
We did 3% conventional.
3% conventional. Awesome. Yes. Great. Save the fees of the FHA. Oh, and that's right, because I forgot your credit scores were like, 982. or something like that. Like, it's not possible. The top is 850, but I remember it was in the 800. Okay, this brings me to, there are two really big things that I want to ask you guys about. One is the financial side of things, and I'll get to that in a second. That's what we call a tease in the business, everybody, because there are some interesting financial things here, and I think that 20% has to do with it. Two is I went back and looked. You guys reached out to me September.
Yeah.
Zora's 7 months old. Your little form that you filled out said, Brittany, girl, were you like bursting at the seams just looking for something to do?
I had some downtime in the pregnancy and felt like we should plan,
That's so awesome. I have, in the very first year of the podcast back in 2019, one of my clients, I was teaching people how to use the internet. She actually taught me a bunch of stuff before I started the podcast, because she was on maternity leave.
Yes.
And her first child was born like crazy early, like 20% chance of survival or something like that. So for her second one, she was on bed rest, 5 months in. And she's like, oh, I use this site to do this. I use this site to do that. And I was like, well, where? Oh, you're just sitting around the house. Awesome.
Yeah. Gotta make use of those nap times.
Yeah. Oh gosh, always. It's funny because they'll tell you, when they nap, you nap. But it's kind of hard to nap when your head is so wrapped around this new idea.
Yes.
People freak out when they plan a wedding or plan a pregnancy or have a pregnancy. What was the experience like? And feel free to give us the pros and the cons, because you're here, so you did it. Maybe someone's not as resilient as you guys, but was it insanity having a child and planning to buy a home?
No, it literally was.
It was.
I think it lit a fire under us because we were like, we definitely don't want to continue renting while we have this new baby. We were in a townhouse.
Yes.
And so the idea of carrying an infant up and down 3 flights of stairs every day was like, no, we need to find her a space so she can grow and we can be sane parents for her.
Yeah.
And how did you guys work as a partnership? Did you split the duties? Is one of you like the spreadsheet person and the other one like the long-term planner? How's it work? I got a finger. Brittany's the spreadsheet person. That's why she filled out the form.
That is the truth. Yeah, no, Brittany actually took quite a bit of the responsibilities while carrying. And but yeah, no, she was definitely very organized, definitely lit a fire under me as well to just do whatever I can, but or whatever I could at the time. But yeah, she was very organized, and yeah, she did a lot of the planning, a lot of the searching, and yeah, I drove, and I helped out where I could.
What was the shift, the impetus to go from dreaming on Zillow and window shopping to getting into more intense research?
Yeah, I think we actually heard some of the podcasts, and I might have texted you and been like, listen to this guy. Like, there's a few stories on here we need to hear. I think they're close situations to ours. Maybe we can actually do this and make it happen. Mm-hmm. And then, once you hear you can do this so many times, you're like, oh, wait, maybe we can.
I was like, can we do this?
I think we can.
We can, yeah.
Yeah. Once we had that meeting with the loan officer, it was like, oh, this is real life. We're going to make this happen.
One of my unicorn lenders who helps when people are kind of trying to figure out which state or city they want to live in, so they need kind of an overall broad. I've got one gal, Kelly Court, and she's been on the episode. I met her 20 years ago. I loved it. She's like, oh no, it's not a pre-approval phone call. It's a discovery call.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And for you guys, you came to me, like I said, credit scores, 982. So you were great. What were you guys paying in rent? It wasn't super cheap.
Yeah. I mean, it was cheap for the area, but I think in all we were paying about $3,800 a month.
Yeah. There are some people right now that punch their phone going, that's not expensive for your area. Everybody, they live in Dallas. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why the discovery call is so important, because while that sounds super expensive to everyone else, you guys are also looking at price tags going, there ain't no way.
Yeah.
Now, did I see this right? So you came to me September 2024. You are you closed on your deal April. So that means in March. So in just 6 months, you guys were under contract. But when you came to me, you said you had $6,700 saved.
Yeah.
What did you do? So talk to me about that. Did you hear, oh, I don't need 20%, and then you just went psycho? How did you do it?
Actually, yeah. I think that's a very good description of what happened. So yeah, like we mentioned earlier, we met with our lender. We found out that 3% was available for us. We found out that the conventional loan was also part of that. Like we didn't have to do FHA. And then we got the down payment for that loan percentage, or for that down payment percentage. And
you got your goal percentage, 3%, based on, had you already talked to Michelle, your unicorn, or did you guys kind of already have a price in mind that you could do the math for what 3% was?
We told our loan officer kind of what we wanted to be in the ballpark for monthly, as far as like, all right, here's what we're paying in rent right now. We don't want to go over this much every month. What can we do? And she showed us this like worksheet and gave us a few different options as far as like, hey, here's what cost to close is going to be. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, let's look at a different one. And she gave us some different options. And we were like, all right, we know we got to be out by May 31st.
Yeah.
What can we save before then? Let's break it down by month and like make a plan.
So many things. I was scribbling the whole time you were talking. Because you guys know how it goes. I'm on the podcast, and after you've got 10 or 20 podcasts in me, I might be in your ears in the workout, but you're thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner because I'm just droning on. Y'all are a real story. You did it based on the monthly as opposed to coming in with the price.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that your idea because you're just smarty pantses? Or maybe did you hear it from some podcast?
We heard it was possible on a podcast,
It's possible. But yeah, like we had a range that we wanted to stick in, and we had our high, and yeah, like once we were able to get that monthly payment, we just went from there.
Great. So you went in, you got the number from the 6,700. Let's see, your home was in the 400s, so you had to save some more, right?
Yes.
Yes.
A little bit more. Yeah.
Quite a bit more.
Did you use the mortgage, because the new payment's higher than your 3,800, right?
Lower.
It's lower
for now.
Yeah, for our first year, it actually turned out to be lower. Yeah.
For now, let me guess. Tell the story. Why is it lower the first year? What happened?
You want to explain that, or?
We got a cool program from our like awesome lender. Where we're able to have like this special rate for the first year. And then after that, it goes up by just a little bit, still within our cushion that we wanted to be in. But it helps us to kind of smooth over as we transfer from being renters.
Oh, wait, I didn't check. Did you guys do this with Guild?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, so you guys did it with my unicorn
Yeah, we
lending
did.
team.
Yeah, we did.
You
Oh,
said Kelly Short, and I
awesome.
said, yep, we let her.
Okay, did you guys go with, did Kelly work with you or Jennifer or Nancy, or did you work directly with Kelly?
Jennifer did.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
It is, and again, these are the things that you can't Google because people say to me, oh, that program, just like Kelly and I talked about that 4 or 5 months ago.
Mhm.
And it was like they offer a 1-year single point deduction. But
Yeah.
what's great is when they talk about that, they say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to work with your realtor. And first, we're going to explore to see if you're looking at new builds, if you can get a better rate with a new build lender. And they'll even pass you off and not get the deal. The other thing they'll do is they'll talk to you about down payment assistance. A lot of those down payment assistance programs have maximum income. You can't go over that. So considering what you guys are paying in rent, I'm assuming you didn't qualify for those, regular affordable housing stuff. So Guild came up with that idea. And so for your first year, you are paying less, and it only cost you, 12,000-ish, maybe 13 or 14. Wow. How did the closing costs ever get to the place, Brittany, where you weren't panicking?
Was it like 2 weeks before we closed? I said, okay, I can breathe again. I think we're okay.
I just have done a podcast about it, and it's the worst part of my job because it's impossible to explain. You guys closed on, I have the 23rd. So let's assume it was around there. Now that means you only had to pay 7 days of mortgage as part of your closing costs. If you'd closed on like the 7th, that would have been another $2,000 to your closing costs. And that's why people always tell me, like, is this a scam? Is this feel shady? And I'm like, dude, they can't tell you till you get the exact day. Was the plan always to time the lease?
We were hoping we could, and it just worked out.
Yeah, we were very fortunate that the timing worked out in the way that it did, because not only did we close when we wanted to, we had a bit of leeway to move a bit slower, and
it took the full month to move out.
Are you kidding me? I mean, like I said, I love Zora, and she's probably got a fabulous smile, but not so great at moving boxes.
No, she's still working on it, though. I mean, she'll get there.
One of the greatest things, and sometimes, like when you're sitting at home alone as a unicorn realtor, it's not hard, but it's like, is all the unsung stuff that no one realizes. I know how difficult it is to time a lease. I know how insane it is to help people with an infant look at homes and manage that. There were so many things that your unicorn must have done in the background. And then you had that week, which now that's eating into your overlap time that you so meticulously planned, but did you ahead of time have contingency plans for yourself? Did you have options for the lease? Did you look into, and what did your landlord say?
Yeah, we did start to look at other rentals just in case something fell through, or just in case we weren't able to meet one of our benchmarks or milestones.
I don't think our landlord actually responded to the email about renewing for a year. So that was just another sign that we needed to go on. So,
I could just see it. Hey, Michelle, we don't have a backup plan. Make it happen.
We gotta be out.
Okay, so what was it like shopping for a home? Do you guys have any tips or tricks in what you guys did? Did you have ballpark ideas before you got pregnant of like, this is our neighborhood we want to live in? Walk us through that.
Yeah, we knew we wanted, we're in Dallas, so we knew we did not want to be in just a sunny area. We needed some trees so that we're not just baking when it's July next month. We are used to being downtown, so we didn't want to be fully in the suburbs yet, but kind of close, driving distance, able to take the roads. And then what else? We wanted like parks and.
Yes, definitely green space was a big deal for us. The area we did eventually move to and the one that we had in mind, there's a big lake, like not too far away, a few minutes away. So, having that area, but we still wanted to be close to, things like we still like to go out, even though we have an infant. So that hasn't really been, possible. But not only that, we're looking for, one floor house, obviously, but the biggest part was just the proximity to the city and, just being able to have the opportunity to venture and still be, close to a lot of things. So, yeah.
Well, that's, I was just, again, I've been writing a ton of podcasts and, people, I'm answering the question, how much home can I afford?
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I tell people is, let's not talk about the math. You're a young couple. Yes, you're parents, but you're very vibrant, fun people. And so that quality of life is important.
Yeah.
Do you guys work in the city as well? Or was it just to be close to, all the hubbub?
Yeah, we're both downtown.
Yeah.
So we got to be able to get there. And we work in office too.
Both in office, both downtown. Did you guys grow up in the Dallas area? Did you grow up in an urban area, or did you grow up in areas with, as you said, green space?
We've been here for so long. We've been here for over a decade.
Yeah. Yeah. We're both transplants. Like, I'm originally from Ohio. She's originally from Virginia. But yeah, we've been here so long that, we kind of grew up here. But we both, when we came to Dallas, lived downtown. So that was, most of all of the experience that we had with the city. So yeah, just being close just kind of helped with the transition, with slowly making our way out to the suburbs as we grow our family, things like that.
Your situation is one of those situations where I always want to ask people, is this kind of part of like the first step of the dream? Did you always think I'm going to do downtown now, but then did you think, okay, when we have a family, we're going to move to an area with more green stuff? Was that always what you were thinking about?
Like that's the Dallas way, kind of, where people start out in the middle as they're younger and then eventually make their way out,
Yeah. I ton of family in Dallas Fort Worth, and I would go to visit my aunt and uncle at their place for the holidays, and then my cousins would say, "Come to my place," and I drive downtown to some high rise where they lived.
It's relevant.
What were you guys looking for? Did you have to compromise or have any flexibility, and walk us through that mental process for yourself when you were narrowing it down once you had your discovery call and you had your numbers? Because you said single story was a must-have.
Yeah.
About the garage?
Yes. So we did have a little bit of flexibility, but there were must-haves, like with being in Texas, it's always hot here. So having a garage and or a carport was a must. Single floor home was a must. It didn't necessarily have to have a lot of space, but we didn't want to be so enclosed that we felt like we couldn't move, because that's kind of how our last rental was. It was 3 floors, but very compacted. But once we narrowed down the things that we must had, it did open up the options as far as, okay, the style of home, the age of home, and as long as it was in the area that we were looking in, basically all things were open.
What was the ultimate factor for you? Was it the ideal perfect home, just maybe in a neighborhood that you weren't considering, or was it the ideal perfect neighborhood with the best home in that neighborhood? Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you say?
I don't know. I think we kind of got the best of both worlds. We're in the neighborhood that we really wanted to be in. And I think we got the best home that was available at the time. And it met all of our check boxes that we wanted.
Yeah.
Kind of worked out.
Yeah. Y'all go buy some lottery tickets. That's the score right there. And again, you came in incredibly prepared. Your PMI is the absolute lowest it can be because of that above 800 credit score, even at a 3% down. Mathematically, especially with your creative, unique loan program, that is, again, right now where we are is there are things that are happening for buyers because the market's kind of stalled. So that's an option you got that you wouldn't have gotten a couple of years ago. And then, my gosh, hitting it right there on the timing of the lease. And you really should buy a lottery ticket because we're like a half hour in and Zora has been just a peaceful little joy. So just hanging out. Were there any other parts of the process? I always like to ask people, that because you listened to other interviews that you want to be sure you let people know, or were there any surprises that you were like, I listened to a bunch of podcasts, but this one totally freaked me out, like the closing costs?
I'm thinking about that one. I think the biggest surprise, at least for me, was the lease-back part of the contract. Like, I didn't even know that was an option during the closing or during the negotiations. We were told about the seller's situation, and they needed some time after closing to get their affairs in order. So they asked for, I think it was 2 weeks at first for a lease back, and we were thinking like, oh no, once we close, like we're gonna walk right into the house because it's ours now, right?
Give me my keys.
Exactly, and that was kind of not really a shock, but it was like, oh, I didn't know that they could actually stay after we took ownership of the property. So that was something that kind of threw us for a loop a little bit.
I'm just giggling because you guys are like an infant, perfectly timed lease, neither of which are easy to do. And they're like, we need a couple weeks. And you're like, seriously? Like, we have it all together. We have a lot more. Under 30 days, at least in California, and it's all the more reason why you need to talk to your local unicorn because it's different in every single state. But in California, under 30 days, a rent back is pretty easy. Mm-hmm. If you go over 30 days, you become a landlord, and then that rent back paperwork actually turns into a temporary lease. And that can get really tricky, and there's liability, which is why at the closing, you and your unicorn team make sure that you have all of your insurance in place and that the home warranty is in place. Now, did you guys do a walkthrough with them before the closing and then before they left?
Yep, we had a walkthrough. Was it the morning of closing?
Yes.
And then we did it again after they moved out.
Yeah.
So we were able to see like, okay, everything's still good. We don't need to engage any of the things in the lease that we had just in case. But
Did your unicorn team have them fill out a memo? That's what we have here, a move in, move out, like a big checklist. Kind of like they do, when you rent a car and they walk around and they tell you where stuff was, like, oh, there's a ding here, there's a ding there. Did they do that at closing to make sure they didn't screw anything up in the 2 weeks? I don't know if maybe it's not a Texas thing.
Might not be a Texas thing, but I think we had some pretty strong language around, like, if we do find really significant damages, then XYZ will happen.
Yes.
Or if you stay past your date, then XYZ will happen.
Yeah.
So our unicorn was able to explain all those things to us, and we did some research too.
Did you do like a daily penalty for each day they stayed after it? A per diem?
Yeah.
It would have been uncomfortable.
Yes, it was a good per diem. My favorite thing is asking these questions and getting the answer, because I'm on the other end with other realtors, and 90% of the time I don't see them writing it with a per diem or just things aren't written correctly. 90% of the deals that I do. But when I ask about a unicorn transaction, of course there was a per diem because Michelle made sure that was in the process.
Yeah, she did.
And that's great because, and you were and again, I'm just teaching everybody right now. As long as you have that walkthrough afterwards, that's where you get your protection. Because you can walk in there and the language in the contract can be like, oh, wait a minute, you were here for 2 weeks, but you repainted this wall and there's a giant hole over there. So you guys were covered. It's been a month. Are you in? Are you comfortable? Are you sitting on boxes and just lying to me?
The boxes are in hiding right now. We're just pretending they don't exist. It's fine. Maybe they'll disappear one day. I don't know.
I always tell people when you move with an infant, don't worry about it. You're still going to have boxes by the time they're walking and can move stuff in for you. So,
believe it.
Yeah.
This has been a thrill. This has been a joy. Did I miss anything? Are we good?
You want to say anything about the inspection?
Oh, yes.
That whole process went?
Okay, well, that's our other tip is just to get multiple inspections.
Yes.
And that will be super helpful because if you have one, they might not catch everything.
Homies everywhere. When you do an inspection, it is a general inspection.
Yeah.
Yes.
You will be surprised that you get a very surface level evaluation on things that are huge. Your roof, your plumbing, your electrical, beyond the plumbing into the sewer, if it's got solar. So what a lot of times, what can happen, especially in an older home, is you have the general inspection and that inspector recommends you get a certified, licensed and bonded blank plumber, electrician, whatever. Did you guys get enough warning that you did indeed have extra vendors go out and look at stuff?
Well, enough warning.
They put that language into their report. Yes, they did.
Yes. Yes. The language was in the report. We will say it that way.
We had a little adventure after where we wished we would have had a plumber come out and inspect after, but that's okay. We've learned a lesson now as homeowners.
Yes.
Okay, that's this is good. Not everything goes great. We understand. So I'm reading between the lines, and the general inspection handed you a boilerplate line and probably could have and should have gone a little deeper into the plumbing stuff.
Yeah.
Was this something that you guys had covered with a home warranty, or did you do it on your own? Did it blow up and you just called a plumber? What happened?
The first part of our adventure was actually covered by the previous seller because it was something that was caught by a certified technician, a certified plumber. They handled it on their end. But the second part of our adventure, we ended up having to foot the cost for it because the inspection was general. like you said.
So did you talk to your home warranty to find out it was covered and find out it wasn't, and found out that particular thing wasn't covered, and so you had to pay for it yourself?
No, we actually chose to not do a home warranty just
Oh,
because,
okay.
yeah, just because the options for us for the home warranty, they would have,
They weren't super great.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
With that repair, was it intense? Was it repiping? Was it big stuff? Was it sewer?
We got a new water heater.
Oh,
So
you know what? I will say this.
Mhm.
With a general inspection, there are a lot of times that they'll tell you this roof is like halfway through its life. That's a
Mhm.
term they use all the time, which basically means you're not going to have to pay 30 grand in the next 3 to 5 years. But if it's 7 years, don't yell at me. Even though roof life is supposed to be 30 to 50 years, depending on the type of the roof.
Yeah.
Water heaters, they say 12, 15 years. I've seen 20, 30-year water heaters. I literally put a reminder in my calendar and I call people at the 10-year mark of their water heater. And I say, you have 2 years to save $1,500. Go.
Yeah.
Did it blow? Did you have the nightmare? Or did it just stop working?
it stopped working. It was just like, I'm
Okay.
done.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of it stopping working was severely decreasing the water pressure
Oh my
in
gosh.
the rest of the house.
Which is hard when you have like an infant who needs bottles and stuff. So we
Yeah.
had to get that fixed ASAP.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you now have a good plumber that you know that you're excited about?
We do.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Made friends fast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is good. One of my 2025 goals is to get all the homies together in a what to do after you buy a home. And I can't believe I'm gonna do it, but I think I am gonna do the Reddit because it's just the easiest way to talk. But I'm just gonna invite you guys, and everyone else is gonna look at it and go, homies, what? And fine, don't join.
Yeah.
But you've got your unicorn team. You guys are gonna be living that. The good thing is you're going to be prepared for new adventures because the biggest one's right there in your lap.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
for
you
sure.
so much, guys. This was incredible. I appreciate you guys taking the time, and tell Zora, from what I could see, I really like her house.
Yes. Yes, for sure. We will pass that message along.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy for Zora and happy for Brittany and Fred that they got to be in that position right now where they feel in control, where they feel stable. Raising a family in today's economic environment, it can be super freaky. But by understanding, using the tools for a rent replacement strategy and using your money to build something that's stable for whatever we see coming our way, that's what's so exciting about that interview for me. And of course, for you, there were tons of tools and tips and things that you can use when you get to that point in your process. No matter where you are in the process, the very beginning, or maybe you're right at the end and you need some critical advice on inspections or appraisals or any of that stuff, reach out to howtobuyahome.com. You can get a free 7-day video email course, kind of a starter kit to get you started on what you're doing. You can also ask David. It's right there. I answer those questions, pop it in there, and I promise I'll get back to you. Or if you're ready right now, you can go ahead and ask me for a unicorn and we'll get you to the best of the best of the best in the country. And hey, if you don't want a unicorn, you want to take all the information and do this yourself, awesome. It's all here. It's all free. Been that way since 2019 because I'm looking for you to have a success story like Brittany, Fred, and especially Zora, because you know what? You can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time home buyers. So visit howtobuyahome.com to get started.